One. All right. Welcome to another episode of Code 4 Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Kyle Kras, 20-year veteran, recent retiree of the United States Army Special Forces community, a husband, a father times three, and now a small business owner of a new, or not new, but a CrossFit affiliate here in Clarksville, Tennessee, CrossFit Dunbar Cave Lab. Welcome to the podcast, Kyle. I appreciate you taking the time out today to spend some time with us and share some space with us. So we appreciate you being here. Um, we're glad you're here, brother.
Absolutely. It's great to be here. So thank
Yeah,
you for having me.
yeah. So I'm gonna turn it over to you to just kind of do a brief introduction of yourself, and then we'll get into it.
Sounds great. My name is Kyle Kras, born and raised in Indiana for the first 18, 20 years. I grew up in a small little town, Lowell, Indiana, kind of a suburb of Chicago, and then graduated high school there. Went on to college at Bethel College in Indiana, where I wrestled for a couple of years. They ended up cutting the wrestling program, and I always wanted to join the Army.
Uh-huh.
So once they cut the program, went and enlisted in the Army under a Special Forces contract, which I had no idea what it was at the time. And so
Oh yeah.
I joined the Army, went to basic training for infantry OSET, went to airborne school, and then like, you're going to selection. I'm like, sweet, let's go for it. Passed that, went into the Special Forces qualification course, where I started as an 18 Delta Special Forces medic, graduated there, came out here to 5th Special Forces Group, spent the next 17 or so years out here with a couple stops, one in North Carolina, one in Louisiana, but the rest of the time has been here. I went from a medic to an intel sergeant. Then once I got promoted to an E8, an operations sergeant. And that's where I spent the last 6 years of my career before retiring. Upon retirement, I worked a short stint at HCA here in Nashville, and then now I work at FedEx on top of owning the CrossFit affiliate. Been married going on
You better get that
17 years
right.
now. Yeah. 17 years now. Well, 17 years this year. 3 kids, ages 15, 10, and 4. Deployment cycles will do that, so good little gaps in between them. Yeah, I haven't slept in 15 years either, so finally getting to the point where I can sleep in past, like 6:30 on a Saturday, which is nice. And yeah, life is busy, but life is good.
So
That's
going through your
awesome.
bio, you said you wrestled in college, and so you kind of answered the question there that I guess they cut the wrestling program for you. And
They
but
did.
was
They
the
did.
Army always like a path for you?
So I knew from a young age I always wanted to do something in the military service. Growing up watching the James Bond movies with Pierce Brosnan, I'm like, man, that's what I really want to do. And my dad, who had never served or anything at the time, I'm like, well, how do I get to do that? And he's like, you got to be a Navy SEAL. So I'm like, okay. I've always wanted to be a Navy SEAL growing up. And out of high school, I was actually going to join the Navy. My parents were like, you're too smart. You got great grades. Go to college, do that. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do that. And wrestled there for 2 years. And then I got the call one summer. I was working construction in between semesters. And they're like, hey, they cut the program. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to transfer schools. You know what? I'll just go down to the recruiter station and, I'll join the Navy under a sealed contract. So I got done with work one day, drove across from the town I was working in to the recruiter's office in Maryville, Indiana. And at the time, all 4 recruiter stations for all but the branches were in the same building.
Yeah.
So I walked in, went up to the Navy office, and it's like moved across town. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to drive across town. I'm tired. So I turned around and there's the Army office. So I walked into the Army office. I'm like, what do you got that's like being like a Navy SEAL? They're like, oh, man, we got this 18 X-ray contract, Special Forces candidate. I'm like, what is that? They're like, you used to be a Green Beret. I'm like, what is that? They're like,
That's right.
So like that lifestyle was always part of like the dream for you, like the Navy SEAL, the Green Beret community. That interested you from Jump Street or what?
it did. I'm not sure what drew it to me exactly. Probably watching too many war movies as a
Maybe.
young child and, seeing all the heroics and the action really drew me in from an early age. And so I always knew it was going to be a path for me. Just not sure. I always thought I'd get there the way I got there.
Yeah. So going through your bio here, I counted 7 different deployments at different geographical areas of the world. So, and these are very dangerous areas of the globe. So again, thank you for the sacrifices that you have made for our country and your family. You have 3 kids, like about a 5 to 6 year gap between them. So, and your very first deployment, I didn't know, was the same year your first child was born.
Yeah. So actually, I got out here to Fort Campbell in July of 2008 and ended up meeting my wife in August. And so we started dating. I went on my first deployment of January 2009 to Iraq, which was a very eye-opening experience for me. Came back from that, got married, went down to the courthouse, got married, typical thing to do, right? Come off a deployment, go get the paper signed, get married. And then yeah, we ended up getting pregnant the following January of 2010 and pregnant the entire time. Team was getting ready to deploy again, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna stay back until your child's born." So they deployed in August. Kyle was born in September, and then I deployed 2 weeks after that for
Jesus.
another 6 months to Iraq. Yeah, yeah. Gotta love the army way of things. So
That's
yeah,
the way it
missed
works.
the first 6 months of his life, and then yeah, when you talk about the 7 deployments and the thing that's really interesting about the special force communities is not just the deployments. So for the year of 2012, I didn't deploy at all actually, but I was still gone 10 months of the year.
Uh,
Yeah, between schools, TDYs, and other training options and other things. And so for the first really 5 years of his life, I think I was gone almost four of them.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was
That's
a
gotta be tough.
busy time.
So the way the special forces community works is you grew up here at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. You spent most of your life cycle here as a Green Beret, and I kind of talked the way through the groups. Like different groups are like if you're a fifth group guy, you stay in fifth group for your entirety of your career. Correct?
Typically, yeah. So the way we're aligned and what a lot of people don't realize is part of our special forces qualification course is a language.
Yep.
And so with that, you kind of become a cultural expert, and each language ties you to a different part of the world. So here at fifth group, we have Arabic primarily. For a while there, it was Persian Farsi as well, and some other minor dialects, like I'm going to say Levant. Now that I've been out for a while, I forget even all the dialects of it. But yeah, the Lebanese dialect and some of the Egyptian dialects and other things of Arabic.
Mhm.
And so because of that language tie, you're pretty much tied to that group your entire career.
Oh,
And even the way that works is so I did 6 years here at fifth group before I volunteered to go out to North Carolina when we were pregnant with our second child. And so my wife could do her doctorate in physical therapy. And so out there at SWIC, technically you can kind of transfer groups, but then you got to test for a different language.
Oh,
And then it has to be approved by your group too and everything else. And so it does happen occasionally where people transfer groups, but for the most part, trying to learn a new language on top of your other language
yeah.
and then getting the approvals of those group sergeant majors to actually transfer and everything is difficult most of the time. Yeah, generally pretty much always end up where you start with.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't realize that till I was down in Central America. I was in Honduras for a year, and I covered all 7 countries of Central America there. But there was
mhm.
seventh group down there,
Yes.
so 7 groups they all speak Spanish. So
Oh, yeah.
that was their region of the world, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So
Yeah, yeah. So seventh group is Spanish. First group has Asia, so they speak Tagalog,
yeah,
Chinese, Korean, Mandarin Chinese, and then third group has Africa, and they're kind of a mixed bag in what they speak. Mostly French, and then a couple other dialects of Arabic and some things thrown in there. And the tenth group has Europe, and they get Russian and German and some Spanish, and I think those are the big ones actually. And then,
how long did it
yeah.
take you to figure out, like, once you learned the language, how long did it take you to start understanding it without even just thinking about it, and it was just become second nature?
That's a great question. I'll be 100% honest. I've never been good at Arabic. I
Uh,
could pass the test, and actually, kind of a funny story. So I work at FedEx now, and we have a lot of foreign employees. So I've
uh,
almost spoken more Arabic in my FedEx job than I did when I was in the army.
really,
that's wild.
'Cause, yeah, we got quite a few people from Egypt, and I think one from Iraq, and so yeah, I converse with them at a very basic level in
That's awesome, though.
Arabic. Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you working FedEx down in Nashville or here in Clarksville, that new
Here
facility?
down in Nashville, so I do third-party logistics, so it's not even FedEx like you think of FedEx.
Okay,
We do the distribution for I actually work for Kind. Well, Kind owns the warehouse, I work for FedEx, but FedEx manages their distribution networks.
kind like the bars.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so if, anytime you go to the grocery store around here or anything else, all that stuff comes out of my warehouse.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, some I did never even knew about while being in the army. Like, yeah, I thought I was getting hired by FedEx. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be doing packages?" No. Don't touch any packages or anything else.
Good. Okay, so you started your CrossFit journey in 2014 here at the current gym that you own.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what? So this is while you're on active duty. What about CrossFit attracted you?
Honestly, nothing. Actually, I was coming off a deployment in Afghanistan where I was working at a headquarters, so I had some time to work out. And so I was working out twice a day, running, 4 to 5 miles every day, lifting, doing all the things. And I was actually a solo assignment at the time. So it was just me, the only Green Beret there. And I had Navy SEALs as my partners, actually. And they were really big into CrossFit. And so I'd see their workouts and typical Army guy, I'm like, that's stupid. Why are you doing that? Like, those aren't real pull ups, all those things for the
Yeah,
entire deployment.
kipping,
Yeah.
cheating,
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the stupidest thing. Like, I'm in way better shape than they are. No,
and then you do it.
why even do it? And I didn't do it there, actually. I fought it the entire time. They'd always invite me. They're like, come on, try it, all this stuff. I'm like, no, no, it's all right. And so then on my way back, my wife, actually, Danielle, she's like, I want to try CrossFit. And I'm like, you go do that. That's fine. You know what? Enjoy. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
And so I came back from that deployment, and she had been going there about a month. And she was like, hey, you should come try this. I'm like, whatever. You know what? I'll go. I'll show them all up. I'll tell them how stupid it is. And then I'll move on with my life. Well, I showed up for the very first workout at CrossFit Dunbar Cave Lab with Matt. And it was something like front squats, burpees, and I think running or something else. Something I'm like, oh, this is way too easy. And I got about 5 minutes into that workout and I couldn't breathe. And I had like tears streaming down my
And like that
face.
that burning sensation in your mouth, like,
That's
fuck.
exactly what it was. Like, I wanted to dry heave. I wanted to like just
Yeah.
break down and cry. And I'm like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, why is this so hard? And ended up finishing the workout, literally just want to lay down and die. And I'm like, you know what? I'm clearly not in as good a shape as I thought I was. I need to do more of this.
It was humbling, right? Yeah.
Yes, incredibly humbling. So stuck with it there for about 8 months before I ended up moving out to North Carolina. But from that point on, I was pretty well hooked on the concept of CrossFit.
So what is it about CrossFit that makes it different from your typical your bro split at the gym?
That's a great question. So, as you've experienced, CrossFit constantly varied. So, having done bro lifting between high school sports and then even college wrestling and some other things, Mondays legs, Tuesdays chest, Wednesdays arms, and you
Yep.
just kind of do the same lifting very
Systematic.
repetitively. Yeah. And it's good and there's a great purpose to it, nothing wrong with it. But eventually it's like, man, leg day again. Like, oh, I'm going to do back squats, whatever it is. And it just gets kind of boring after a while. And the beautiful thing about CrossFit is, yeah, you do have some of the same movements that you're going to see over and over again. And you have the general same 5 formats of workouts, but none of it's ever the same. And it's just that constantly varied going in, different stimuluses, different weights, different movements, different everything that, like, okay, you know what? That one was really bad. Didn't enjoy it. But the next one, you're like, man, that's in my wheelhouse. That's awesome. I love it. And the other part is, even if you're working out with somebody, you only get so much of a push. You go into a CrossFit class, you find some people that are like you,
Yeah.
and you literally kill yourself trying to beat them. Even though at the end of the day, it's really you against you, there's always that competitive nature in what we do. And so you get the extra push, you're going real hard, you put yourself beyond limits that you didn't think you could do. And that's what I've always really enjoyed about it, is forcing myself out of my comfort zone. Because if I go work out on my own, it's very comfortable. It's like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
3 sets of 8 bench press. Let's get this out. You know what? I'll stick with maybe 275 today. I'm not going to, nobody's around me. Nobody's judging me. They're like, oh, that's a pretty good weight. I'm like, I feel pretty good. All right. But I don't get that same improvement. So with CrossFit, it's really just pushing myself beyond what I would normally do. And every day is different.
So I got my very first CrossFit experience with Matt Wolford. Actually, we were deployed together and we were in this little gym tent in Afghanistan working out. And he was like, bro, have you ever tried CrossFit? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. And so he pulled up the workout, and the workout for the day was 100 burpee pull-ups. And it was the most miserable thing I've ever done in my entire life.
That sounds like it, actually.
Like, I was hurting for days after that. But then, like, every day we'd pull up. So there was no CrossFit affiliate. That we didn't even know what an affiliate was back then. And when did CrossFit start?
CrossFit started way back in 2001, I believe.
I think so. Okay.
Yeah,
I knew
it was
like
around for
early
a long time
2000,
before it
but
got popular.
Because I think Rich Froning didn't even get popular in there until like 2000, what, 5, 6, something like that?
Oh, he was 2012, 13. He
Oh,
was
really?
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we would pull up the workout of the day and just try to do that. Half the time we didn't know what the movement was. But can you talk to us a little bit about programming? What all goes into the programming of the workouts of the day?
Oh, absolutely. So I took over the programming fairly recently, about the last 6 months. I do it with Danielle as well. And so for our programming, what I like about ours, which is really unique, is so Matt always did his programming and I learned a lot from him. A lot of gyms do what you call I don't want to say bot programming, but a lot of great programs exist where you buy it and then they do that, follow that program. For us, though,
Like
we,
Mayhem, like you can buy
yeah,
Mayhem
like
program.
Mayhem, Hard Work Pays Off,
Yeah.
Proven by Tia Claire. And those are all great programs. But for us at our gym, we know our athletes, we know what their needs are. We did a goal board. Everybody has goals. The most common goal, though, especially for the women, is to get pull ups.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge milestone. And so one of the things that we get to do by doing our programming every day is we started to build an accessory work where, hey, these are the goals. These are the things we need to work on. So we're going to build it in so people can get on it. And I've seen a lot of progress in the last 2 months alone on that. And it's very nice. But for us on the programming piece, we firmly believe in the constantly varied. And so we've broken it down into really 3 sections for our workouts. We have the warm up, which is going to be a general warm up, get the blood flowing, get moving. Then we go into a more specific warm up and then our accessory work on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. There's no accessory work. But that specific warm up usually goes into what we call our mod, which is our movement of the day, which is going to be a strength movement or a skill movement. And then we have our workout of the day or WOD, like you talked about. For our mod and the way we program is we kind of alternate between heavy days and then skill days where either we're working on double unders, rope climbs, bar muscle ups, some of those higher end skills, or working on form to get the Olympic lifts down, whether it's your squat clean, your squat snatch, your hang power clean, whatever it is, breaking down those movements so people we're not just throwing a bar in front of you like, hey, let's do this really complicated lift that most Olympians take, 5 to 10 years to master. We're not going to do that for you. We're going to break it
Are the
down.
absolute worst.
Yeah, absolutely. Like trying to get people to squat snatch is so complicated. And I understand it. It's taken me 10 years to get comfortable doing it. And, you go into some place and it's like, hey, we're going to do this really hard movement. Just lift this bar. And it's like, okay, that's not one,
It's
you're
not the way
probably
to do it.
hurt.
Yeah.
2, yeah, you're not actually progressing the way you need to progress because your mechanics are all off. So we've really broken that down between the skill work and the strength work. And then we go into our workouts of the day, which some days are going to be longer workouts. Some days are going to be shorter workouts. Some days are going to be heavier. Some days are going to be lighter. And it's really just what we're preparing for. So the last couple of months has been the open. We've been doing more burpees, doing more movements that we know are going to be in the open, trying to push people that are to come out of their comfort zone so they can push themselves to that next level in the open.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, actually. Kind of like we were talking about before this started. Very excited about it.
Yeah.
So like when I first got exposed to the CrossFit community, you had open, and regionals, and then the games. It's changed now. What's the
Oh, that's a great question. I wish I could keep up with it. So you're right. It used to be the open, then they had like regionals and then the games, and then they went a couple years ago, they changed it from the open to quarterfinals, semifinals, then the games. Then they did away with quarterfinals last year. I think quarterfinals might be back. I really couldn't tell you what it is this year. I have not, between running the gym, doing the programming, working a full-time job, kids and sports and stuff, I have not been able to keep up with it as much as I should have. But yeah, I don't know.
That's fair. Like
But
the
unfortunately,
CrossFit
none of us are
community
going
is
to make
far.
it there. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just happy with the open.
yeah. But no, so at your gym, you do the open workout. So every week is it 7 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Didn't it used to be 7?
It used to be 5.
5.
Up until I think 2018 or 19. Then they shortened it to 3.
Okay. So the open's only 3 technical workouts, right?
Yeah.
So every Friday, you guys do the open workout at the local gym.
We do. And this year we're doing a little bit different format. So typically everything's in-house. We do our teams divided internally. and, get together every Friday, do the workout, eat some food, drink some beer, have a great community night, enjoy the workout, applaud people for getting first, doing a great job, really pushing themselves. And it's really good. This year we branched out a little bit and we thought, why not make it a larger community event? And so we actually partnered with one of the other gyms owned by another former SF guy who got out actually last year as well, Jeremy Baker and his wife Candace at CrossFit Blue Light. And so this first week we're at their place where we're going to meet up, both gyms, do the workout together, have a nice little community event. Second week will be at our gym. And then the third week will just be us internally.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, yeah, a little bit bigger of a crowd, a little more energy, a little more
Competition.
pushing, competition. Yeah. Different people get to experience new things.
What kind of people go to CrossFit? Let me ask you that.
Man, that's a fantastic question. I appreciate you asking because
I know it. I've seen the people that go to CrossFit, so I want your take on it.
Yeah. So CrossFit, I think, as a whole, and even this is kind of what I fell back into in 2014. I think there's a very large cultish type community with CrossFit.
It's like a church.
And, yes. And I don't think CrossFit Dunbar Cave Lab has ever been that way. I think Matt did a very good job
No,
of
I would agree.
cultivating a broader community. And even since then, we've expanded on that quite a bit. So one of the things we're really proud of is we have a large, what we'll call masters athlete program here. And our average age at our gym is probably around 45. We have Danielle, my wife, coaches a class that we call Fit for Life, and it's CrossFit. We call it Fit for Life because everybody in there is over 70 years old. And they're all incredible people doing incredible things that are, that 70 plus age group, and they're moving weights. They're doing great things. We also have Ryan's met quite a few of them at the 930 class. We have 3 older gentlemen by the name of Dave, Ben, and John, who are all 70 plus as well. And awesome. Dave hit a PR the other day of a 315-pound deadlift at the age of 72.
That's awesome.
And yeah, crushing it. Our community is very different in that sense. Like we do have a lot of masters athletes, and we do have younger people, and we have everybody in between. So it's a very
I want to caveat there and say that he's not carelessly. You don't have a 72-year-old carelessly throwing around weights and doing deadlifts there. They have coaches that are strategically watching and have put a lot of time and effort into their.
That's very true. Yeah. So everything we do, we try to do safety first. The last thing we want is, somebody permanently injuring themselves or doing something where they can't work out. And, CrossFit was great. And I guess you hear that a lot too. That's the thing leading into your question is, you do see a lot of quote unquote CrossFit athletes or former athletes that are like, it was great, but I just really hurt my shoulder and I've never been the same since and I can't do it. And so I think back in the earlier days, that was one of the other common things. You saw a lot of people do a lot of silly things where they did get hurt and they weren't focusing on the right things. And it kind of like, I'm sure you guys have seen like the first UFC fights where you had like the sumo wrestler versus the kickboxer and stuff. I feel like that was the early days of CrossFit. People who are in shape just going out there doing all sorts of wazoo things that led to a lot of injuries and bad habits and
premature
other things.
Injuries. Yeah.
I think CrossFit's done a really good job of getting away from that and really focusing on the form and the longevity and the overall health wellness aspects of working out, as opposed to more of the game side where you see the super fit people doing absolutely insane things.
So I'm kind of glad you brought up injury. Everybody has like some type of, or they know somebody that has some type of CrossFit injury story. So how do you sell CrossFit to a potential new customer when they have that going through their head? Like how do you bring them into the CrossFit arena and be like, hey, you're not going to get injured. We're going to make sure of that.
Absolutely. One of the things that I think our coaches do a really good job of and that we preach is the scaling option. So you walk in and it's always intimidating, whether it's, the older gentleman doing a 300-pound deadlift at 70 and, you got 20-year-olds that walk in like, I can't do that. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. Like, what are you giving these guys, right? Like, what is going on here that these people are doing these incredible things? And it's like, whoa, like, slow down. Like, they've worked up to this over a long period of time. Like, nobody starts at this level. Like, we got to get you where you are.
Yeah, we got to get your foundation up.
Progress you to where you want to get to. It just takes time and consistency. And so scaling people to where they're at is always the key for beginners, especially in their first workouts. Like people who walk in and haven't worked out for a while or have been out of it or whatever the case may be. And like the other day, it was a workout called Kelly, which is a CrossFit staple workout, and it's 5 rounds of a 400-meter run, 30 box jumps, and 30 wall balls. Very high volume workout, even fit athletes 25 plus minutes. Well, I can't have somebody new come in and be like, hey, you know what? I want you to do this workout. They won't be walking for a week. And so really it's like, okay, hey, when was the last time you ran? Oh, you haven't ran in years? All right, let's start you off and we're going to have you on the box jumps. Okay, you know what? Let's do 10 step ups. Let's start with that. Nice, easy. You can do stairs. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll do
gradual.
step ups. Wall balls. Let's not do wall balls. Let's do wall ball pickups or whatever the scale may be based on where they're at and their movement patterns and other things. And so for us, meeting athletes where they're at and making sure that one, they're moving safely, two, they're moving efficiently, and three, they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
And you get those three things, generally people do enjoy it and they stay and they avoid those injuries while still progressing over time.
Yeah.
So I will say too that, like, to your point earlier, Kyle, about CrossFit being kind of a culture, like kind of a cult. It can't be
Yeah,
known
yeah,
as
yeah.
that. But
The real
I will
estate
say,
agents.
I will say Dunbar, yeah, but Dunbar Cave Lab was not like that. Like, I've been to gyms before where I walked in the door and you just saw like a bunch of clicky athletes over in one corner. They got 5 pair of shoes laid out because they're going to change their shoes 5 times. But Dunbar Cave Lab was never like that. I would attribute that to Katie Stolar too. She, when I first came on board, me and my daughter Jordan joined the gym at the same time. And my daughter was later a coach there while she was in college. And she learned some programming and stuff under Matt. But if it wasn't for the culture that was created there by Matt, and then what's continued on by you, like, there's zero chance I would be there. So, and I think a lot of people appreciate, especially at this gym, I think a lot of people appreciate that.
No, that's one thing I think we really pride ourselves on is our gym culture. Like you're right. You walk into a lot of places and it is very cliquish. And I mean, every class is different and there's still groups within groups, but I think overall what we've eliminated are those cliques. You walk in and everybody talks to each other.
That's awesome.
There's nobody hanging out in corners. We do events. We do a lot of events actually. I think we planned this year calendar year and we have almost 10 events. So almost one a month. We're bringing the whole gym together.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And everybody sits together, everybody talks. Hey, I haven't met you. Oh, you go to the 5 a.m., I go to the 6:15 p.m. Like, nice to meet you.
That's
And
awesome.
everybody gets along. There's no real animosity. And I think that's very unique about our gym.
Like, no ego.
I'm sure every gym believes it, but I really do believe we have the best community
Uh-huh.
of any CrossFit gym. We are smaller, which I think probably helps, where we don't have, 200 people, and then you get a lot of those things. We are on the smaller end, which we do need to grow, of course, because it's a business, and ultimately to keep the lights on,
Uh-huh.
you do got to have people come in and make money and stuff. But I guess that's one of the challenges. How do you grow appropriate while maintaining the culture? And I think that's one thing that's unique to DCL is the people who do join fit right in with the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I am especially as an owner, very grateful for that because it makes life pretty easy when you have such great members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, you fell right into it too. Cause you you did the whole CrossFit thing and you had the colored socks and you drove a Subaru and you wore a tie. Right off the bat, Ryan was like, hey, you want to do CrossFit? I was like, I don't ever want to drive a fucking Subaru.
I was
bro."
like, I got reason to buy more shoes and socks. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to have 10 pairs of shoes, mandatory.
So, like, I remember when I first got it started with CrossFit, I never understood the community aspect of it. Everybody I talked to about CrossFit is like, "Oh, we go for the community. We go for the community." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But it took a while for me to realize, like, nobody goes to a CrossFit gym and wears headphones or, you know what I mean? There's music playing in the background, but that community aspect is real. People are encouraging others and competing with one another. There's nobody keeping to themselves. I think I've called it before, suffering.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's actually what I don't know if you ordered one or not, but our open T-shirts for the combined event literally says "Suffering Together" since 20.
That's awesome. So you also opened, I'm going to butcher this name. You opened a CrossFit affiliate in Syria in 2018.
Yes, actually I did. So going back to the games format, this is when I was really paying attention because I was pretty young back then, and I'm like, you know what? My goal is to make the regionals. And so that year, actually, because I was deployed to Syria in at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. And at that point, they're like, hey, we're changing the games format. We're going to have a representative from every country in the world.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, man, Syria's in a war zone right now. Like, there can't be many affiliates out here. Let me open an affiliate in Syria and see if I can be the Syrian representative.
No way.
That was
Did
literally
you?
my thought process.
Did you do it?
I did. Well, I opened an affiliate in Syria, yes, but then they came out with a rule that you have to be the nationality of that
Oh,
country. You can't just open an
man.
affiliate in the country. Yeah. I was really bummed when
I'm sorry.
they came out with a fine print and they're like, your
You go to
affiliate does not
Chernobyl.
count.
You go to Chernobyl and you become the affiliate. It's like there's nobody there.
So is that affiliate still open?
No, so as a military affiliate, 1 second. My daughter came in.
No, no,
She's right here. She's just
It's all
asking
good.
questions. But yeah. So I affiliated as a military affiliate, which you get to do for free. You can't collect dues or anything. I guess to be almost a nonprofit affiliate. So CrossFit's really good about that. And so yeah, I was on the website as an actual affiliate and everything. And
That's
then
awesome.
when I came back, the affiliates only last a year. So even the nonprofits, you still have to renew every year. I just didn't get around to renewing it, but
okay.
made shirts, had all the cool stuff.
That's
They
awesome.
had, I think on the high end, because on the base, some of the units, were required to participate by their commanders and stuff who enjoyed it. So I think on the high end, we did usually have like 40 or 50 people on Saturdays come out and work out and stuff.
That's
It was
badass.
good. It was good. It was a good community there too.
So I remember when I was retiring from active duty, and like I had some injuries, but and like I think I injured my back a couple times, and I was deadlift. I was actually doing CrossFit, and I even said that in the medical record. But like I remember when I went to go retire, they were like, some of these injuries, you were doing PT, you were doing CrossFit, and I was like, yeah. But look at the PT test now. Everybody does CrossFit. The entire Army does CrossFit now.
Yeah.
Especially the new PT test. Yeah, absolutely.
So now that you own the gym, the very place that you started and got your foundation in CrossFit, how does it feel? Does it feel like you're home?
It's good. The Matt was one of my best friends, and so he had quite the journey in CrossFit over the course of the 10 years he owned it, and switching buildings and locations and growing the gym and being a small business owner and suffering through all the struggles that small businesses go through. It was a journey. And so he got to a point where he was ready to transition on to other things in life. Everything runs its course, whether it's retiring from the Army
Yep.
or whatever else. And so he was ready to move on. And so he presented the opportunity, and it was a discussion, a long discussion on it, because there's a lot of things that go in there, and it is a lot of work. And it's one of those things I probably underestimated the amount of work that it really takes to try to run something and be successful in it.
Yeah.
And so talked with the wife, and we really weren't sure honestly about it, but it's something we had talked about wanting to do for a long time together, is opening a CrossFit gym, because she fell in love with it too when she started, and she's a physical therapist. And so
She can
opening it,
fix what you break.
it's exactly right. But as she'd tell you, I don't ever listen to her. So I'm just chronically broken.
Doing it all wrong.
Yeah, yes. Probably one of the biggest fights in our relationship.
That's awesome.
Is
I
my
love that.
inability to listen to her advice, which if I just listen, I wouldn't hurt nearly as bad. But
Joe Dirt says that's good business. You win twice, brother.
So yeah, the dream was to always open a physical therapy / CrossFit gym, and so we're there, but time is always the hard part on that one. And so we're getting there, and we've, even in the, what is it, a little over a year now, ups and downs. It's hard. Owning a small business is hard. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of challenges I never thought I'd have to deal with, but
So
at the same time,
I've talked to many affiliate owners, yourself included, and I think everybody is on the same consensus that there's no real profit in owning an affiliate. Really, it's kind of a labor of love. That's actually your words.
Yes,
And
very much so.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be 100% honest. What, dear? Okay. All right. So yeah, the hard part about an affiliate is honestly the rent. The rent for most buildings. I sit on a lot of calls for CrossFit affiliates across the country, and they're pretty honest about everything. The average affiliate only grosses $6,000 a month. So in a place like here, Clarksville, our rent is $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do. Plus, you throw in affiliate fees, insurance, app fees, utilities. maintenance, all of the other things. Yeah, most gyms, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And this is something, even when my family travels every year for Christmas, so we always drop into different places. And the two places we dropped in the last 2 years, Ryan, like, we're not a big gym.
Yeah.
These places have been probably a third of the size of our building.
Wow.
And it's like, man, I wonder how these gyms survive.
Yeah.
I'm pretty grateful for what we have, and we have a great community. But like, how do some of these affiliates manage it all? Like,
Do you
it's
think
impressive.
do you think some of the more successful ones are the gyms that actually like started up pre-COVID, when they actually had the ability to buy the buildings at like a decent price and then actually turn a profit that way?
Some of them. I'm gonna kick you out, dear. Hold on. She wants the sword I got from 5th Group All Army.
Oh, nice.
She's intrigued by that. But yeah, so DCL was open before COVID, and COVID definitely hit it hard. I don't know. I know COVID shut a lot of CrossFit gyms down, but I really wasn't quite in the management side on that one. I know, talking to Matt, who went through the struggles of COVID, it wasn't too bad on some ends.
For the most part, he kept it
successful
open.
gyms, what they have going for them is, sitting on this call, like, there's a gym up in Cleveland. The guy grosses $80K a month.
Yeah. That's
Which
crazy.
is,
Sure.
yeah, when you have 300 members,
Yeah.
like, that's doable. And that's, I think, really like proven. So Proven in Nashville, I forgot what the number is, and we've had this discussion before, but they average something like 400 drop-ins a month. So when you average that many drop-ins a month alone, like, it's just pure size and volume. Nashville, if you didn't know, I think has 17 CrossFit
CrossFit
gyms.
East Nashville.
They're one of the bigger ones, but they have 17 affiliates just in Nashville.
Jesus.
Like, Nashville is like the mecca of CrossFit, if you will. And they have some really big gyms. They
'Cause I
actually,
think
last year,
Adrian Bozeman lives there now, right?
he does. He actually came to our competition last year, dropped in. Yeah. Yeah, he's visited us a couple times. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Nashville's a great place for CrossFit, but you have to have a lot of members to be successful. And that's kind of the hard part about CrossFit in general, is people who come and actually do it really enjoy it.
Yeah.
For the most part. But it's getting people in the door and kind of breaking those stigmas about the cult-like personalities, or you have to be a certain level of fitness coming in. You have to know how to do all these things. Well, none of that's true, but getting people to buy into that and actually trying it is always the hard part. And then getting people to pay to, what most people joke about in CrossFit is suffering every class, or like, dying during a workout. Like, I'm paying you to die during a workout is always hard.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to pay you money to put in a lot of effort and work really hard? Like, that's a hard sell for most people. Like, most people, you know what? I'll pay $100 for a massage. Sure, that feels really good, and I don't have to do anything. Absolutely. But you want me to pay you $100 so I can work out?
Well,
Yes,
you
please.
prioritize what's important to you in life. If
Yeah.
getting physically fit is important to you in your life, you're gonna make it a priority. It's like, you can either,
Absolutely.
like, when it comes to CrossFit costs, the costs are they're hefty, right? But if you pay
You're also getting
100
premium quality,
Yeah.
like gear, like that
you're
you're
getting
lifting.
one-on-one coaching, you know what I mean?
Coaching's the big one.
Yeah.
You're getting a community of people to back you. But if you prioritize paying $150 for your cable bill so that you can sit on your couch,
Yeah.
then maybe a Planet Fitness is for you. Maybe because you ain't going there either.
I always have a saying, Ryan, like, I spend more on less, like, why not pay that price, like,
So,
pay it on dumb
Kyle,
shit anyways.
what's the biggest competition to you locally here? Like, is it other CrossFit gyms? Is it the bro gyms? What is it?
Man, Clarksville is a fascinating case study on gyms. I think any military town is, for the most part. So there's 5 other affiliates in Clarksville. And then you talk about not only the other affiliates, but the other gyms that do CrossFit but aren't affiliated. There's about another 7 or 8 of those. And then you talk about all the other gyms, like there's a barbell club now, there's other bro gyms, there's the Planet Fitnesses, there's the Total Fitnesses, the 24-hour Fitnesses. I think I live out in Sango area. I think one day I counted within about a 2-mile square radius, I think there's almost 22 other gyms.
Jesus.
Just in a 2-mile square radius from my house. Dunbar Cave's not even 2 miles from my house. It's about 7 miles from my house.
Yeah.
So it's a little down the ways, but just in that tiny little area, there's a ton of competition. And then on top of that, you go on Post and all that stuff's free.
Free.
You
Yeah.
have Thor programs now and gyms that are just as good as CrossFit gyms. That's for cleaning a whiteboard, dear. And so, yeah, I think in Clarksville total, I'm going to say the rough math is like 70 total gyms.
Go.
And then, yeah, everything on post
9.
for free. And yeah, that's what makes it hard is there's a ton of competition. And then, yeah, really just the premium price. People also, anybody that comes in is like, oh man, this is like having a personal trainer,
Yeah.
which is way less than the cost.
Yeah.
But you don't always realize that. And so
The level
that's the hard part.
the level of personal training that you're going to get there is going to cost you around $80 a day, honestly.
Oh yeah.
If you're doing the math correctly. You're getting enthusiasm, you're getting somebody to push you, you're also getting premium quality equipment, your
Technical coaching.
yeah, like your
Community.
Yeah, community. You're getting all
Yeah.
that. So if you're, I mean, like really honestly, it's pretty good. You're kind of convinced me to do it right now. So
You should absolutely should. It's
Yeah.
once again, once you try it, most people get addicted. Like it's really great for you.
Yeah, my buddy Bart, he owns a gym up in Delaware, and he got me started. One day he came out, and Ryan, we took a trip out to Utah to Zion, and he was going for special forces in on the reserve side. I guess they have like a
Okay.
reserve out in Delaware, and so he's like, "Hey, bro, I want to test myself against you," and I was like, "All right, well, fuck it," because I'm a big runner, and he's like, so we went out to Zion, and then when we got back, we dropped into a gym out here, and since he was an affiliate, he just had a free drop in. But as we left, he had paid like 3 months up front for me. And then he's like, "Hey, bro, I got you a gift." And he's like, "Keep going." And like, it was fun. I'm not going to lie. It was really, really fun until I started running into like all the real estate agents. And I was just like, get the fuck away from me right now.
That's fine. We don't have real estate agents at our gym. We have a lot of teachers, some military,
That's cool though.
a lot of retirees.
But
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say, I actually got a really nice rear end just being there and just doing all those movements that I normally wouldn't do, you know? And like
Oh yeah.
even my old lady was like, "Damn, you're looking pretty good." And I was just like, CrossFit. She's like, "Keep going." And I was like, "All right. Yeah.
I'd say for the longest point, like the only stretching I ever did was when I showed up to CrossFit. And that's what they forced me to do.
It's still the only stretching I do. But it's funny you mentioned that. Actually, one of the guys that goes to the gym today texted me and he's like, "Hey, my pest control guy came up to me and he's like, "Man, I've been doing this a year. What have you been doing lately? You look so good." And he's like, "Dude, I've been going to CrossFit." And so a guy actually called me up and he's like, "Man, how do I look like that?" I'm like, "That's hilarious. Thank you for the testimonial. That's amazing."
That's awesome. So what do you think CrossFit as an organization could do to better aid the affiliates in growth? And
That's a
just keeping the lights on.
fantastic question, especially because you don't sit on all the same thing else. So they've done a pretty good job lately. They've really listened to a lot of the affiliates because I know even before I owned the gym, you're like, man, I'm paying a $4,500 a year affiliate fee. Like,
Mhm.
where does all this money go towards? Like, what are they doing for me other than just protecting the CrossFit name? Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money. And so a lot of people have talked about national level campaigns. And so if you watch YouTube, they've started to do that. They've come out with what they call the CAP programming, which is the CrossFit affiliate programming, which is free to all affiliates. We don't use it necessarily, but it is a good tool.
Yeah.
You can get ideas from it, very well outlined videos, all the other things. Overall, I think they're doing a much better job than what they've done in the past with helping the affiliates. So we have a Midwest representative that we have a meeting every Tuesday. He talks about all the things going on. He brings on different guests to talk about business aspects of CrossFit, coaching aspects, how to share information between affiliates, what's been working for you, what's not been working. Oh, the Open's coming up. What can you do to help bring new people in, to help retain members?
Mhm.
So they've really invested in that. CrossFit itself does a town hall twice a month now, one on the business side, like, hey, you're in a crowded market. How do you help your business grow? Or, hey, here's some general tools that help you plan your finances. Or, hey, here's how you advertise. They also have come out with a whole media team that comes up with advertisements for
Like
CrossFit that
social
you're
media
free to share
marketing type stuff.
among the affiliates and everything else. So
Yeah.
they've really come a long way in the last, at least since I've owned this, compared to what it used to be. So I think overall they're doing a good job. You may not see it a lot, unfortunately, because I don't think a lot of affiliates take advantage of all the tools.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more time so we could do that. But me and my wife both work while on top of having the affiliate and all the other things. It's
Yeah.
really hard. But no, they've done a really good job of it. And I don't know if you could probably Google it on YouTube and come up with some of their cooler ad campaigns. But their big one lately is fighting back against, I don't want to say fighting against, but really kind of like you talked about your priorities, taking your health into your own hands and making it a priority as opposed to relying on big pharma later in life to treat the symptoms of all your ailments.
Yeah.
And so really just owning your own health and doing the hard thing now so you can have a healthy life later and do the things you want to do.
Do you, I got a question because I'm a nutritional coach. Do you guys ever do like little clinics on nutrition there?
We do. So actually, one of our former members owns her own nutrition consulting thing. And so she does a lot of free consultations for members, especially around events and other things. And then if people want more in-depth nutrition coaching, we usually send them to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, CrossFit definitely, if you look at their pyramid, nutrition is the base because it's really hard to perform well if you don't eat well.
Right.
And that's probably one of the harder things. And Ryan and I were talking about this, even the intake of alcohol. Like, do I enjoy beer? Absolutely. Does it kill your performance?
Absolutely.
Does it kill your sleep? Absolutely. And if you're not sleeping well, you definitely can't perform well.
Right.
And it affects so much of your life. I mean, that's the same thing with basic eating is like, I know I'm super busy and I was guilty of this last year, but it's so easy to stop at fast food on the way home after a long day. Like I'm hungry, I just want to eat.
Yep.
You put garbage in and you get garbage out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know when I was doing the CrossFit, like right afterwards, I mean, like, you're wasted, you're gassed out, and like you're ready for a shower and a hot meal. And like, honestly, I'm sure a lot of people think at the end of that, it's like, oh, I can eat whatever I want because I killed myself. But then they're lacking in their results because of the fact that they're just buying that easy way out and not really backing it with a good nutrition choices.
Absolutely. Yep. No, you nailed it right on the head.
Yeah. That's why I was always wondering. I was like, man, they should really put on some clinics and then just like you do like your WODs, you know, like, or, you know, your warm ups, you're like, all right, guys, we're going to do like the instructional portion of it. And then maybe do like every day you talk about 10 minutes about like, hey guys, this fruit does this, or this, you know, this vegetable does this. Did you know this? Did you know that? All right, guys, let's get down to it. All right.
Yeah. Do you guys still do like your gymnastics and running clinics and stuff?
We do. We do try to do clinics as members need them and other things to help improve those skills. The frequency is less. We used to try to do them last year. I think we try to do one almost every month. And we just unfortunately just don't have the time to do that. So we do put 1 second. The coins? I'm not going to give you the coins. I know. She sees all my coins from the time in the Army. I got the nice little, Danielle got me like a little stand for one of our anniversaries for them. So they're all, you know, all shiny
that's
up
nice.
there. So
Yeah.
But no, you cannot have those, unfortunately. But yeah, we still do the clinics and we try to do them fairly regularly to help members and stuff. But
That's
it's
awesome.
just, between doing the events and everything else, it's hard. It's kind of hard to squeeze in.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So if you could make an improvement on your current gym right now, what would it be?
Oh, man.
Would it be adding equipment? Would it be?
I think for us, one, kind of going back to some of these other questions, tying them in. So there are 5 other affiliates, 2 of which are like brand new and have super brand new nice equipment, and it's hard to compete with that for people looking at gyms. Like DCL is a community, but if you drop in once or twice, do you really get to experience the community? Like we've been told, we are by far the friendliest gym. Everybody talks to people and that, which is really great for people. But if you just walk in, you're like, oh man, it's kind of older. Like, does it really affect anything? Not necessarily, but you know, you walk into some of the other ones and it's all shiny, brand new stuff, and there's a lot of it, and it's like, this is a nice building. This is really cool. And so it draws you in at first. And I mean, all the gyms are good. They all have good people and everything else. I'm not putting any of the other gyms in town down because they're all great. But of course, I think we're the best. You know, I'm going to say it, but
I think so.
I think upgrading the equipment would probably be a major thing to do. But and I've looked at that. But you're talking, you know, $30,000 to $50,000 to buy new rowers or new bikes or new bars and new weights and all the different things. And so it's just one of the things I'd like to get to. But in order to do that, we got to grow the membership and you know, all those other things.
Because equipment factors into your programming. Right, like if you only have so many rowers or so many air bikes, you know what I mean, and you got a 10-person class. How do you?
Absolutely. And so, no, you're right. You nailed it. And that's one of the things we try to focus on programming. Like we only have 3 ski erg. So how do I use a ski erg and a workout so people get to experience it without them just collecting dust? And so there's a lot of ways. One is you can run an EMOM. So you rotate people between stations, or you do a station focused workout where, you know, everybody's got to rotate between it. Or you write it on a Thursday where numbers are lower anyway. So if you only have 3, it's not a big deal. Like there's different ways to fit them in. And I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that. And as it gets warmer, we'll start with the sleds again and the yoke carries and some of the other things that, require more outdoor space, but nobody wants to do when it's 20 degrees outside. So, yeah.
So talk to me about what is HIROX? I keep seeing a lot.
HIROX.
HIROX? What is it?
HIROX.
HIROX. So HIROX is a fascinating thing, which we debated starting a class at one point, but didn't know where to fit it in and didn't have a coach for it.
So is it associated with CrossFit?
No, not
Oh,
at all.
okay.
It's a European type model that focuses more on running.
Okay.
So theirs isn't constantly varied or anything else. It's a very set
Okay.
Yeah.
event, and it's the same event no matter where you go or what you do.
Yeah, it's
And
regimented.
it's primarily running. So you run a lot and then you do
Yeah,
wall balls.
it's 8 kilometers of running, and there's 8 stations.
Okay. Yeah.
and then it's a fucking nightmare, dude.
Yeah, much longer event. Typically it's about an hour, right, for a
Yeah.
race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people do it in like 45, like competitors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard from what I see. I actually have a client. I actually have a client that does HIROX, and she's she was lacking in her running, and so she's like, "Can you teach me how to run?" And I was like, "Fuck, I can teach anybody how to run. It's just, are you willing to run?" And,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've seen firsthand the competitions and stuff, and it's pretty intense.
Very intense, yeah. A lot more running. You gotta be in very good shape to finish one of those. The only reason we didn't end up going with it, though, is when I looked at the US, there's only like 4 or 5 races every year in the US. So if you're not Chicago, Atlanta, like I think Vegas, New York, and maybe like
Houston.
Miami or something.
Yeah.
So we didn't do it because people are interested in it, but you really got to be dedicated to do HIROX right now in the US because there's just not a lot of opportunities to compete.
Yeah. I never heard of it up until like a lot of the CrossFit athletes that I follow on Instagram and social media. I noticed that they were doing these other competitions. I'm like, what is this? Is this like competition to CrossFit? Is this something else that they're doing?
Yeah, no, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Like Noah Olson and them, they started doing it. I think Tia Claire did one. Yeah. Great marketing for their gyms too, because they can expand into that now, and they're already so fit. They're really good at that too. And it's like, man, must be nice to be that fit to be able to go run 8K and do all the events.
Yeah, a lot of CrossFitters don't really like to run too much. I've noticed when I was there, like I was like, "Hey, like, you guys want to go for a run?" They're like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, we try to run once or twice a week.
That's good.
And it's good. But yeah, no more than 400 meters generally at a time.
Yeah.
One of the things I hated about Matt's programming is there was nothing under 400 meters. Every run was 400 meters. I don't think I ever saw 100 or 200 or 300 factored into the program. I'm like, Jesus.
You're going a quarter mile.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
But no, that's about all I have on this list here, going through the questions. And we are approaching our hour mark. So, Kyle, I do appreciate you being here, and it's been a pleasure to share space with you. Sal, do you got anything else for Kyle before we?
Kyle, I'm gonna drop back in as soon as my shoulder's ready to go again after the surgery. I'm gonna drop back into a box because you came on here and
absolutely.
You got my wheels spinning, man. So
good.
Yeah,
maybe if you come out here to Tennessee and visit.
I was gonna say, come on out here.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
I was telling Ryan I got to make a trip out there since he made a trip out here, and we'll definitely stop in and do a walk.
So you two can partner for our competition, Bet Out the Lab, May 2nd and 3rd. Teams are May 2nd. You guys would be a fantastic male, either scaled or RX team.
I'd be
talk about it.
We can be the handicap males.
I'll be the masters.
That'd be a great team name.
Hell yeah. I'm down. I'm always down for that.
But again, Kyle, I appreciate you being on here and taking the time to be with us today. It's been a pleasure to share space with you.
It has. Thank you for having me, and this was a lot of fun. We should do it again sometime.
Yeah, we can do it anytime. Anytime you want to hop on here.
Sounds good.
So that's going to wrap up this episode. We appreciate everybody tuning in. This episode will drop not this week, but next week, and we love you, fam.
We'll see you guys.
All right. Have a good night.
Now, Kyle, stay on.